I am an eternal optimist. So please, God, don't tell me that you're an eternal pessimist.
I like to say I'm a realist.
Oh, great. We're going to get along great. This is going to be great.
This is Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh.
Here's McManus for the tie. 34. And this one is good, and this one ends in the second highest scoring tie game in NFL history.
Well, there you have it. The Green Bay Packers tie the Dallas Cowboys on Sunday Night Football last night. Final score 40-40. Sure felt like a loss. Did not feel like a tie. Felt like a loss. Felt like a big loss all game after it was 13-0. Welcome in on a Monday morning to Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh, live from the 1250 AM and 105.7 FM, the Fan Studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. I am Josh Albrecht. Trevor is not here. He's still in Dallas. He's coming home today. We're going to try to connect with him. He was at the game. Very fortunate again today to have my buddy Mitch Thunder Nellis in with me this morning. Good morning, buddy.
Poop.
Yep, that's well said.
Poop.
Well said.
I love lamb.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The reaction,
hey,
first
bud.
of all, we want to get your reaction, all day.
Yep.
On the Nicolay Law fan talk and text line, 414-677-1250. Give us your feelings, because I am upset, obviously, but it's just it's a crappy, weird feeling. It's not like as angry as I'd be if they just straight up lost, but it's like very close. It's essentially right there.
Yeah, it's right on the border, right on the precipice. It feels weird because I'm like, all right, well, they didn't lose. They didn't choke a win. I mean, they didn't choke a loss, but they choked many opportunities for wins away. They played as poorly as we could have thought, especially on defense and clock management. And it's like, it's just dumb. Like, it's just dumb. I mean, I don't know if I want them to just keep playing and just like have a winner. I kind of think they should be punished by having a tie. But it's just dumb. Like, and to make it, I'm so at a loss for words at the concept of a tie, and that this Packers team is the same Packers team we saw week 1 and week 2. Like, how are these two teams like both exist on the same planet? I don't understand.
So this is going to be the big theme of the day, going back to our conversation on Friday and what I kind of was voicing all last week of this game against Dallas had the opportunity, right? This is what I said on Friday, that the Packers had an opportunity to prove that their game in week 3 against the Cleveland Browns was a fluke.
Yep.
Right? This is the opportunity to say that game against Cleveland, ignore that.
Mm-hmm.
You look at weeks 1, you look at weeks 2, and then you look at this game that we're about to play against the Cowboys, and you judge us as a team, us being the Green Bay Packers, based on those games.
Yep.
And they didn't do that. They did not take advantage of that opportunity. Instead, they went out and proved again how they're flawed. But this time, not in the way we thought. So that was the biggest surprise. The answer is still the same. The answer of this team being who we thought they were is still incorrect. They are not who we thought they were.
But are they this?
We don't know what they are.
Right. Like they might be who we thought they were.
No.
But they're also because then you could say, well, they're this the past 2 weeks. They're not that either.
No. After the first
we
2
don't
weeks,
know what they are.
We know they weren't what they were the first 2 weeks. There's no way that after 4 weeks,
right now they're definitely not. Yep.
That you can sit here and say this team is a scary team with an elite defense that is going to be Super Bowl bound. You can't sit here and say that after they tie the Cowboys 40-40, the same Cowboys who got routed by the Bears the week before. But now without CeeDee Lamb, you can't sit here and say, no, this is that same Packers team.
Right.
I don't know that you can also sit here and say that they're the same team we saw against Cleveland, because that team also still had an elite defense, right? And I tweeted during the game.
Well, they also played against Cleveland, though.
Sure.
Everybody has an elite defense against Cleveland. I don't know that shows anything about the Packers.
Well, but that was your one constant through the first 3 weeks.
Yes.
Was the defense.
Yes.
The defense that showed up against the Lions
Good
and
point.
the Commanders
Good point.
also showed up against Cleveland.
Yep.
So you go, okay, and we talked to Andy Herman about this, which we'll talk to Andy Herman again today at 8:25. You're gonna 8:20. You're gonna make sure you're gonna want to tune in.
Yeah,
for that.
yeah.
But he said, because remember, we were trying to define what this team was, give this team an identity.
Yep.
And you said, I don't think that this is a Super Bowl bound team. I think that was an overreaction by a bunch of people. You said this team is a elite defensive team, and Andy Herman agreed with you. He said, I think I'm kind of in the middle of both of you, but I think I'm leaning more Mitch. This is an elite defensive team that has an offense that's good enough to make it to the Super Bowl. This game against Dallas throws that immediately in the trash.
Yeah.
You can't say you have an elite defense and give up 40 points to the Dallas Cowboys, who are missing CeeDee Lamb on top of everything.
Right.
You can't. Did the Cowboys have a great game? Absolutely.
Yes.
That could have even been a fluke positive for them.
Absolutely.
Maybe. Who knows?
Good point.
Doesn't matter. If you're going to say that the defense of this Green Bay Packers team is your identity,
is elite, right?
Right. Well, and the identity, right? That was it. That was the only constant through 3. Then you cannot have a game that you're putting up allowing the other team to put up 40 points. You can't.
You're absolutely right, Josh. And it was brutal. It was maddening. It was frustrating. From the second Dallas returned the extra point for 2. And I think the entire game turned on that. I want to live in the multiverse, right? I want to live in the multiverse where McManus makes that extra point. The Packers go up 14-0. Because I think the Packers win that game 31-13. I think all it takes is one simple play, one quote unquote minor play to change the energy, to change the outlook. And that's another thing that frustrates and worries me, is that you have one play that changes all that, and that takes over the whole narrative of the rest of the game. It's like you can't all right, so that happened. All right. You can't let that define you. You can't let that be what ends up being a 40-40 tie. You're still up 13-2. You have to figure out a way to keep in control of that game. And they lost control.
Well, and that's okay. But that's exactly what this defense is supposed to do, right? The defense is supposed to make up for the shortcomings on this team. It should have absolutely been, okay, it's 13-2.
Yep.
But this defense needed to be looking at this like, we still have an 11-point lead.
Yep.
That is enough.
Yeah.
Because we are elite.
Yep.
Shut down, 3 and out, next drive. That should have been exactly what happened from this defense.
Yep.
Didn't happen. Didn't happen the rest of the night. The Cowboys moved the ball as if, I don't...
Right.
We didn't have anyone on the field. And so many mistakes. And we're going to get into them the rest of the show. But the biggest one to me right off the bat was that throw where I think it was Nixon, like just gave up on the play. And number 9 on the Cowboys.
Scrub.
He just comes back and catches the ball on the 3. Yep. Keeps both feet in bounds. And it literally looked like his controller died. Whoever was playing with the batteries, he just stopped in the end zone and looked at him like, wait a minute, what? The play's still going on? That's discipline. That's everything that leads back to Matt LaFleur. And so one of the best things to be able to do on a loss, or in this case, a tie, but I will consider this a loss because we spent all of last week talking to Cowboys media, Cowboy fans, saying they're terrified of this game. Tolbert, thank you. All saying they're terrified of this game. They wish that this game wasn't in prime time. The Micah Parsons return game, this is going to be awful for Cowboys and Cowboy fans. When that's a tie, that's a win for the Cowboys and a loss for the Packers. Absolutely. I don't care what the record says.
Absolutely.
And so one of the things that we get to do with a loss is we get to talk about the blame game. Who do we blame? Who is most to blame? I have a lot of people saying, I saw a lot of people on social media last night saying, leave Matt LaFleur in Dallas. Leave Matt LaFleur in Dallas. Just let Hafley run the team.
Yep.
You mean the Hafley,
the guy who just
whose
gave
defense
up 40
gave up 40 points with Micah Parsons on the team? That Hafley?
Yep.
So I'm not going to stand here and say it's not on Hafley too.
But that also doesn't mean it's not on LaFleur.
Of course.
That also doesn't mean
that
his clock management at the end of the first half, that his clock management at the end of overtime, all leaves so much to be questioned and so much to be desired. And it seems like even in the wins, game after game after game, there are coaching issues that make no sense. And I'm hearing the word crop up that it's an ego situation, that he wants to prove he's the smartest in the room, that he wants to put his stamp on things. And more often than not, I believe it backfires on him. And it doesn't make any sense. Like, just go out. If you have this dominant defense, go out and win the game. Like, go out and do what you need to do. Coach your offense to get enough points. Now, the defense, I mean, the second half, and not even before the second half. I mean, the fumble at the beginning, to go from 13-2 to 13-9 to 16-13 in whatever it was.
Reminded me exactly of the Browns game, by the way.
Right.
Like, why do we keep having these moments where it's a huge momentum swing in less than a minute?
Yep. No, absolutely. Great point. And then to come out, there's something missing that whoever puts their finger on it with LaFleur and head coaching, there's just something off. And it's not cataclysmic enough that we every week are saying like that he's losing games or things are going so poorly. Like, this is still a really good team and he's still a good coach, maybe. And it's like it's something beneath the surface. And that's what makes it so difficult, is that if it was something that was smacking you upside the head, you'd know to say, this is wrong. All right. I think his clock management is wrong. I think his handling of special teams is wrong. I think Rich Bisaccia probably should be looking for a new job at this point, because it was his special teams again that led to the play that changed the entire energy of this game.
Mm-hmm.
And then kick return after kick return after kick return, letting him get the ball at the 40. And then when you're returning the ball, I don't know what was going on with Savion Williams, but the whole thing was broken.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the whole thing was broken last night. And the fact that they got a tie is almost a miracle. Like, they should have lost this game by 3 touchdowns.
They definitely should have lost the game. And that's what's the craziest thing, right? Is that, and I'm not going to say it's a silver lining or that I feel better. I'm just more confused because now the offense goes out.
Right.
And balls out. Right. Now, I'm not saying that the Cowboys have a great defense.
Nope.
But against an NFL team, you still put up 40 points. Jordan Love balled out. Josh Jacobs had some amazing plays. That offense is there in any way, shape, or form against Cleveland. And we would have came into this game 3-0.
Yep.
And I don't want to hear, well, yeah, but that's Cleveland. It didn't seem to be a Cleveland problem for the Lions. Lions scored 34 points on him yesterday. So I'm judging the Packers offense as where the heck was that in week 3?
Yep.
Okay. Thank God it showed up in week 4 to keep a tie. But I just so confused by everything that has happened in the last 2 weeks, not even from an expectation standpoint of this team was going to be Super Bowl bound. I felt that way after week 2.
After week 2, we all felt
absolutely.
it.
I felt that way.
Even if we thought we were overreacting, we still felt that.
Exactly.
Yep.
After week 3, I stood here and I went, okay, That was bad, but that doesn't mean that we should be worried.
Mm-hmm.
There were injuries. There
First
were
row
things,
game.
right?
Weird
Zach
at the end of the
Tom,
game.
offensive line, going up against Myles Garrett.
Weird interception.
Right.
The interception doesn't happen. They give up 3 points the whole day.
Ton of things that you can put your hat on and go, okay. Then you go into Dallas. And I didn't want to feel confident because everything, we talked about this too.
Yep.
Everything pointed towards the Packers win.
Easy win.
And I said, when was the last time that every single thing lined up perfectly and then happened that way? That's not usually the way that it goes. And then
why you gotta be logical and smart?
I'm sorry.
Can you not be logical and smart for 1 minute?
It's part of being a realistic sports fan. And then that's exactly what happened.
Yep.
And it wasn't even the fact that they tied. It was how the game went that they tied.
Yeah. Just like it was as if the defense wasn't on the field. The second half, it was as if the defense, they forced a punt that first drive. You know, we thought Dallas was going to discount double check them.
Yep.
And they didn't. And then it devolved into every team's going to score a touchdown every single time. And there's no change, there's no difference. And I don't know that I'll ever be okay with the final drive in overtime. You have the ball at the 19-yard line with 1:20 left. And you take no shots in the end zone until a desperation last play, which actually should have lost you the game.
Correct.
The clock should have. If I'm the Dallas clock operator,
yeah.
Jerry Jones, I'm going into you're never coming back into this stadium.
Yeah.
You are fired. The fact that you didn't let that get to triple zeros, you are fired. You didn't even have a job today. You were fired last night.
Now, the one argument I would make, you're 100% right. Terrible clock management. That last play, while I think they should have hurried up a little bit more,
yep.
The reason why they didn't was they knew this was the last shot at the end zone, right? It was third down.
Yep.
So whether they went hurry up and had 7 seconds left on the clock, it was still going to be fourth down. So they had one shot at it. You still shouldn't have waited until you're snapping the ball with 6 seconds left.
Right. But I'm more mad about that. With 1:19 left or a minute 20 left, you have the ball at the 19.
See,
you throw a pass to Golden, a loss for 3.
That's what I'm mad about.
You play a pass to Manny Wilson for a loss for 1. You've been passing to Romeo Doubs or whoever in the middle of the field all game long.
Yeah.
Just throw 3 passes into the end zone. One of them is going to be complete for a touchdown, and you win the game. And we can all take some Act mouthwash or whatever. Is it Act? Is that still a brand? I don't even know. We just all take some mouthwash and spit this game out of our mouths and move on.
And get to the bye with a win, and it's good to go.
Yep.
We got some texts coming in. We're going to get to them here on the Nicolay Law Fan Talk and text line 414-677-1250. That again, 414-677-1250. Be a part of the show. Get your feelings out.
Mm-hmm.
We've got 2.75 more hours to do so. We appreciate you being here. Let's vent. Let's get through this together because it's definitely worth venting about. Here on Inside Wisconsin Sports, live from the 1250 AM and 105.7 FM, the Fan Studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook.
second and goal. Love looking quick towards Romeo Dobbs. Held on. Touchdown, Green Bay. Working on Deron Bland. Dobbs and the Packers find the end zone.
That was back when things were going well in that game, aka the first drive was 7-0.
Dominant. Just went right down the field. It was like party time. I got hit. I was started doing shots. I was getting hit. No, I'm just kidding. But I would have been if I didn't have to be up at who knows what time in the morning. But like it didn't that feel
it
like
felt like
a knife through hot butter. The Packers offense, there's no way Dallas is going to stop them. This is inevitable, as Thanos would say.
Yep.
And the Packers are going to roll. Guess what didn't happen?
That.
Yeah. Dumb. Football's dumb.
It can be. Welcome back to Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh. Live from the 1250 AM and 105.7 FM, the Fan Studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. I'm Josh Albrecht. That's Mitch Thunder Nellis. Trevor Thomas still in Dallas. We're going to try to connect with him at some point this morning. He was at the game. I can't imagine.
I can't imagine
being at the game. First game.
He's fired. Four shows.
Packers,
4 shows in, he's fired. That's it. It's over. Sorry, Trevor. You go to Dallas and this is what happens? No. Sorry, buddy. Sorry. Don't come home. I'm just kidding. We love you.
Home, but he's got to live with the fact that he is at the first Packers game in Jerry World where the Packers did not come away with a victory. They can say they still haven't lost at Jerry World.
They can say that, and they will.
But they can't say that all they've done
right, and
is
they
win.
will. They will say that.
Let's get to some of the texts here on the Nicolay Law Fan Talking text line. Join us, 414-677-1250. The 262 said, it's everyone to blame. Offense, defense, and special teams. Don't disagree. Ryan from the Fall says, after last night, it's clear that Matt LaFleur does not have the stones to lead this team, and Rich Bisaccia is just stealing money. Well,
it sure seems like it.
That leads me to our next segment, Mitch, which is I have questions.
Oh, I thought it was going to be who's stealing money.
No,
I'd like
that
to be.
That could be a question.
Can I steal money just to get more money?
No.
Oh,
usually that doesn't work.
Illegal?
Correct.
Still illegal? Okay,
I believe so.
Yeah, just checking.
So I have some questions, Mitch. First of all, why does Rich Bisaccia have a job?
He was a fire and brimstone, up and coming, like not up and coming, but well thought of when he was with the Raiders, and then he was the interim.
That was a while ago.
That was a while ago, and then he was the interim head coach there, and he did pretty well, and then they didn't keep him. And the thought was like he had come from special teams, and he knows what he's doing. And I don't know. I don't even remember. I mean, I can't go through but I just remember how bad Sean Slocum was for years and years and years for the Packers, and they just kept him. He was like the guy at if you go to training camp, he was the guy in like the megaphone, like screaming into the microphone all the time for no reason. He's the guy who was in charge of 2014. And we all know what happened in Seattle.
Yes.
We don't have to talk about that.
Yes. They had a different guy.
Right. They had a different guy after that.
Yep.
And I don't know if he was good or not, but
no, he wasn't.
Right. And now Rich Bisaccia, I think he had head coaching experience. He has special teams experience. And clearly something is not right. And it's not right all the way through. It's not right on getting kicks blocked. It's not right on kickoff returns. It's not right on defending kickoffs. It's just like there's so much wrong right now.
Yeah.
That I don't know. Like I don't know if it's scheme. I don't know if he's got the wrong guys in the wrong place. Whatever it is, it's all a mess.
So here's where I stand on special teams. Okay. First of all, the Packers don't have Devin Hester. All right. They don't have a person that is such a impact player on special teams that you have to have an elite special teams, right? They don't have a returner or someone that is such a game changer that your special teams needs to play that role, right? All they have to do, and all they've had to do with special teams, this going back to when Aaron Rodgers was here, is not mess up.
Yep.
Just get the ball
like
to the offense.
Right.
And then
but but
and
not
then
get
kick the ball
yeah.
through the uprights.
Yeah.
That's it. You do the basic stuff. Special teams, right? Very rarely is it such an impact part of the game for a team we need this returner to be able to get to the 50 every time because our offense stinks or our defense stinks. So we're relying so heavily on our special teams. Very rarely does that happen. All you need to do is make sure that it doesn't impact your team negatively. Your whole job, if you're Rich Bisaccia, is how do I make sure I can keep my job? I can get paid $3.2 million a year.
Ugh.
And all I have to do is make sure that my guys don't mess up. They don't even have to do great. They just can't mess up.
Right.
And multiple weeks now, the game has flipped and had true, impactful, negative change.
Yes, absolutely.
Based on special teams. How does he have a job?
I don't know. I think with the bye week now, this is something they really have to take a long look at. And I think far too often in the NFL, or maybe far too often just with the Packers, and maybe this will change with Ed policy, because we saw they made the Micah Parsons trade, a trade they never would have made with Mark Murphy as the head of the team. Maybe with Ed policy, they're more likely to make changes when they see things are wrong, as opposed to giving a guy a second chance, third chance, fifth chance, seventh chance, 15th chance, whatever that might be. I know we're not getting into X's and O's exactly, but like, what is Savion Williams and what are they doing letting the ball fall on the carpet in the landing zone and then fielding it? Because you said like their job is just to get it to the offense. And I agree, but if you have a choice to get it to the offense at the 30 or the 20, get it to them at the 30. Like run up and catch that ball.
Well,
what are you doing?
Right. And Mike Tirico and Collinsworth kept talking about how these amazing kickoffs from Dallas. And oh my gosh.
Well, Aubrey's the best. We know that.
But just making it so I don't understand. Go get the ball.
Right.
It's
special
team shouldn't be that complicated.
No.
At least not at that point.
Catch a kickoff.
Jacob and Van joining us on the Nicolay Law Fan Talk and Text line. You can too, 414-677-1250. Jacob and Van says, I have a question. Why can't we block off the edge on field goals?
Yeah. Well, and it wasn't even the edge on the exit, right? The guy came right through, like they blocked the edge, and that's what opened up the hole, like on the right side, where the guy just came right through.
But the bigger question is, why is this happening?
Yeah,
this does not happen this often. You do not have blocked field, and we're seeing it across the NFL.
Well, that's what I was going to say, is that this might not be just a Packers problem. It's certainly a Packers problem, but with the amount of kicks we're seeing blocked, I do wonder if there's not Rich Bisaccia, because heaven forbid the Packers actually do that, but that there is, but that there is maybe an undercurrent of special teams coaches have figured out something about the traditional kick blocking technique that they have been able to change. I mean, listen, on Sunday, what was it? We saw 3 blocked kicks in like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Philly, the whole game, that was last week, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Where the Rams were playing Philly and that happened. And
but it happened again this week. How about the Cowboys?
Yep.
Or the Bears?
The Bears, right?
The Bears win their game on a blocked
field goal attempt. Yep. So I do wonder if there's something bigger going on. And if there is, I would trust Rich Bisaccia to be 1,000% behind the times on it, and that's the
problem,
right? And that's the problem, is that he's not going to be ahead of the curve. He's not going to be on the curve. He's going to be behind the curve. Andy writes into the show, at least Love's last pass wasn't an interception. Could we have seen Favre doing that?
I guess, but man, is that you're trying to be glass half full?
Yes.
I can't even look at it that way. I can't.
Right.
I have a question.
Does
Rich Bisaccia get let go? Does he get let go at some point this season? I say no.
I say no.
I hate that I have to say no.
Unless there's a new policy so dumb.
I mean,
how do you not do it? Unless there's, because of the new regime with Ed policy, that things are different now. And that policy goes into LaFleur's office and says, I don't care. I don't care if he's your guy. I don't care if he's been your security blanket for the past 3-4 seasons, whatever it is. Like, this can't happen. And one more thing, and he's losing his job. And that's the only warning I'm giving. That's the only warning you get. And that's the only way it happens. Because listen, we saw the Micah Parsons trade. That's the only reason I think that Bisaccia could get let go during the season. But if mistakes keep happening, they can't be the same old Packers. They have to have some sense of urgency.
I have questions.
Yeah.
Was the Packers defense exposed last night to other teams? Are other teams going to be able to watch this tape and go, yep, there it is. This is how we beat them. Here's why I say that. Because, first of all, the pressure to Dak, I mean, I think he got sacked technically once, if that, the entire game. You can say, yeah, but he had to get the ball out quick. Okay, but he did. And he got it out in a way that allowed them to score 40 points against this defense.
Yep.
So the whole reason, the whole point of having Parsons, of having Gary, of being able to now have this pressure up front is to be able to force these quarterbacks to make bad throws that then gives the secondary a little bit of time or some more opportunities for some takeaways or at the very least to force some 3-and-outs. None of that happened last night. Was this defense exposed and them saying, yeah, but as long as we get the ball out quick, we can totally beat this Packers defense?
I think that's part of it. I don't know if they fully got exposed. It sure seemed like Edrin Cooper was in the wrong place all night. And he's supposed to be second or third best player on the defense or whatever that might be. Whether it was over pursuit or hit it the wrong, or there's one play he hit the right gap, but then it was Enagbari hit the wrong gap. They have things to clean up. What I like about what happened to the defense last night, and this sounds terrible, but I've always felt this way. Your team in September is not your team in November and December, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I hate saying, because we said it last week, they're going to take what they learned from Cleveland, right? And they're going to take that chip on their shoulder. They're going to be mad because they lost to the Browns, and they're going to take that into Dallas and take care of business. I do hope that Jeff Hafley, that the players on the defense figure something out from last night. Mm-hmm. And it's probably Hafley. Hafley figures out whether it's scheme or personnel or what, that, yes, was the defense exposed on September 28th? Sure it was. Does that matter in late December?
They make adjustments.
Right.
Sure.
And other teams do too. So maybe, again, maybe it wasn't the 1 week. They all thought it was a fluke what happened in Cleveland. Maybe this team needed a 2-week smack in the mouth to say, no. Not only are you not Super Bowl contenders like you looked like in the first 2 weeks, but you're also, Cleveland wasn't a fluke. You're not that good.
Right. That's why I opened the show by saying.
And you can be, but you're not even close right now.
They're not who we thought they were.
Right. So if you want to be this good, you need to put in the work every day. It needs to go from 1 through 53 to everybody on the coaching staff, and Rich Bisaccia get a new job.
This is Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh, and we are live.
Mm-hmm.
Trevor's not here.
I'm live.
He will be. We're gonna get him. We're gonna get him on the phone at
all
some point.
6-8 of them.
Yeah.
What if we only got 5-7 of them?
He might only feel like 5-7 of them.
Yeah, that's fair.
But he will join us at some point today, and we'll let you know when that's going to be.
Brutal.
I told Thunder before the show, I said, listen, I might need a break once in a while from this Packers game to just keep my heart rate down. Yep. I'm very excited to play the sound, the most electrifying sound of the day. When we come back on Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh, live from the 1250 AM and 105.7 FM, the Fan Studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Welcome back to Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh, live from the 1250 AM and 105.7 FM The Fan Studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. I'm Josh Albrecht. Trevor Thomas still in Dallas, who's at the game last night. We're going to talk to him hopefully in the 7 o'clock hour. Very thankful to have my buddy Mitch Thunder Nellis.
Hello.
In this morning with me. You can, of course, hear him on the Mason Crosby Show with Mitch Thunder Nellis, presented by Verizon, noon to 2, Monday through Friday. And also, remember, 9 to noon with John Kuhn and Rami Makloff before him. And, man, Cowboys and Packers played to a 40-40 tie last night. How concerned should fans be about Matt LaFleur's clock management? If you want to get a former professional football player's opinion, make sure to find out today on 9 to noon with Kuhn this morning, starting at 9 a.m. on 1250 a.m. and 105.7 FM, The Fan. All right.
I assume he flies back with the team, right?
Yes.
So he's back. So they flew back last night. So
he'll also be very tired. But
will he be waking up like at 8:57 today?
Probably. I don't know. He's a weird cat. He might. I don't know. He might be.
Okay.
I told you, Thunder. I said, listen, I don't know that I can go Packer every segment. My head will explode from anger. Which is why I'm very excited to have this segment, the most electrifying sound of the day.
Drive into center field. Perkins is there. Ball game over. Regular season over. And the Brewers with their 97th win. A franchise record. The best record in the major leagues. Belongs to the 2025 Milwaukee Brewers.
Man, am I just a breath of fresh air, just weight off my shoulders that we finally got a call. We finally got a call. It came in game 162 of this season. We didn't get a call when they clinched a playoff spot because they backed in.
Right.
We didn't get a call when the Brewers won the division because they backed in.
Right.
We didn't get a call when they got the number 1 seed locked up.
Right.
Because they backed in.
Although I wasn't watching the game at the time, I do wonder, because that happened while the Brewers were playing. So I wonder, did they do something like, was there, lady, by the way.
Sure. But it's still a different call.
You're right.
It's a notification. It's information.
It's not a call.
Correct.
You're right.
It's, and there you have it. So the Brewers will have.
The Twins shut out the Phillies 5-0.
Right. And so this game, regardless what happens, the Brewers will have that number 1 seed going into the play. That is not the call. That is being informative of news of what has happened.
Yep.
It took them to 162 games, but the Brewers got win 97. They are now the most winningest Brewers team in regular season history. Beat out 1982.
Which is fun.
That is fun. And in my opinion, it was necessary. It was necessary for this team to go in to the break. They have 5 days now of rest, recovery, get your mind right, get your body right.
1 day of rest.
Yes.
1 day of rest
today. And
Murph is very clear that they are going to be put into some awkward, high leverage situations starting tomorrow. Which I love.
But
I love it.
It also allows for the players that we were worried, I don't know, are they going to be back? Who's going to be on this roster? It allows for them to get their bodies right.
Yep.
But you did not want to go into that period of time on getting swept.
No.
And then, I don't know what it had been, like 4 or 5 losses in a row. You didn't want that. So that win yesterday against the Reds was huge. And on top of that, the Reds still clinched because the Mets ended up losing.
Which, I
don't mind the Reds.
Right. At the end of the day, we don't really care, right? We don't really care who the 6th seed is.
Well, I think we do. I think Brewers fans are way more upset and hate the Mets more than they do the Reds.
All right. So that's the question, though. Do you cheer for the team? Like, are we cheering against the Mets because we hate them? Or should we have cheered for the Mets because they have a better chance at pushing the Dodgers a little bit?
No. I'm not worrying about that whole top of the bracket. I'm not worrying about that. We got to take care of business.
I know.
First.
You're right.
Who says that the Reds can't do it?
Did you see who got the win yesterday?
No.
Trevor McGill
was
awarded the win. Freddie Peralta, 2 innings, gave up a home run. DL Hall pitched 1 inning, gave up a home run, and that was it. Trevor McGill, 1 inning, 2 Ks, and he pitched the 4th. Andy Ashby pitched 2 innings. Chad Patrick pitched an inning with a couple strikeouts. Jared Koenig and Abner Uribe closed it out. Peralta, Hall, McGill, Ashby, Patrick, Koenig, Uribe, 5 hits, 2 runs, 10 strikeouts, only 2 walks, which is nice to see. And that's the kind of last game you want for the Milwaukee Brewers. Knowing that everything is clinched, everything is sewn up, just go out, give every pitcher some work, and score some runs. Like, stop this nonsense of the offense is struggling.
Two hits.
Right. They got to that magic number of 4. 4 runs is the magic number for the team this year.
Yep.
And in a shocking, Danny Jansen hitting again, Bryce Terang and Shurio both with doubles, as well as Vaughn and Collins. A lot of the other guys too. Hard hit balls. Yep.
Yelich was really close to getting that 30th home run. He had a hit. He had a pop. So the team did well. I'm not saying that Brewers fans should be sitting here going, "Oh yeah, baby, this team is back. This team is hot." But I think that that was a little bit of a spark to see some life in this team, to where before that game, the Brewers fandom on social media was tough.
The Brewers
to watch.
The Brewers were not worried. Murph was not worried. I don't think the players were even worried. Like, they knew what was going on, but they also knew what was at stake. But it just feels better. And this is more of a topic for tomorrow.
Yes.
And so you and Trevor will get to it, I'm sure. We'll talk about it a little bit on the Mason Crosby show as well. How into knowing the Brewers play TBD, TBA, whatever, on Saturday, how into you are noon, Tigers, Guardians, 2, Padres, Cubs, 5, Red Sox, Yankees, 8, Reds, Dodgers. I know you're into Padres, Cubs because that's what matters.
Of course.
But are you into, do you like that there's a 4-game slate of playoff baseball?
Yes. Listen, playoff baseball is awesome. Mm-hmm. And as long as your team's a part of it, I think you watch the whole damn thing. I think that if your team, if I'm a Mets fan today, I'm not watching baseball.
No way.
I'm not watching baseball.
Baseball is dead to me.
Yeah, baseball's completely done because it hurts.
Astros fans who got eliminated yesterday or Saturday, same thing.
Yeah, you're done.
No.
You're done. You're not watching.
Astros fans are jackwagons anyway.
And it's exactly, I was mad at Thunder turned on the TV in here this morning.
Gotta have the TV on.
Which pissed me off a ton.
I know it hurts.
I don't want to watch
highlights
of that football game.
You have to.
I said,
it has
I
to
can't
be,
even do it. I told myself I needed one segment.
It has to be ingrained in your soul. No, what happened last night in Dallas has to be ingrained in your soul. But I think, so tomorrow, 2:00, Padres, Cubs. Wednesday, 2:00, Padres, Cubs. And then if necessary, again, I don't think they changed the times of the game. So I think if there's a game 3, and if that's the only game, that's still a 2:00 start. I think Padres at Cubs. And then, of course, the Brewers will host the winner of that series. Saturday, the Brewers will host the Blue Jays, the Mariners, and the Phillies. You figure the Mariners are the night game. But then Phillies, if it's Dodgers-Phillies, that's prime time. So then if it's Yankees or Red Sox at Blue Jays, you figure even if it's Cubs-Brewers, that's like a noon game.
Yeah.
Like that's going to be the early game.
Could be an early game. However,
that would be my guess.
I think it also depends, as you mentioned, it depends a lot on who the Brewers are playing.
Yeah.
How they schedule that game.
Right.
If it is the Cubs.
Yeah, the Blue Jays game could be the early game too. Phillies Dodgers won't be the early game. That'll be like the 5:00 game. Yeah, the Blue Jays could be the noon game and Brewers could be the 2-3 o'clock game.
I think it could go that way. All right. Coming up next is our
baseball
morning mind dump.
Oh.
And man, is there a lot to dump out this morning. We want you to join us for our morning mind dump, brought to you. We're gonna get it started right away. We want you to join us on the Nicolay Law Fan Talking text line 414-677-1250. Get your morning mind dumps in now on the Talking text line 414-677-1250. This is Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh, live from the 1250 AM and 105.7 FM, the Fan Studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook.
I am an eternal optimist. So please, God, don't tell me that you're an eternal pessimist.
I like to say I'm a realist.
Oh, great. We're going to get along great. This is going to be great.
This is Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh.
Mathis has the extra point blocked, and the Cowboys trying to take it back for two with Marquise Bell. The Dallas on the board with a two-pointer off the blocked extra point.
I'm not sure if there's a better highlight or, dare I say, low light to come back to start our Monday morning mind dump here on Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh, live from the 1250 AM and 105.7 FM, the Fan Studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Josh Albrecht
brutal,
here.
Bro. Brutal.
Mitch Thundernellis, that's who you just heard. Trevor Thomas is in Dallas, and this is our Monday.
Oh, my God, I know him.
Yes, you do. This is our Monday morning mind dump. Join us on the Nicolay Law Fan Talk and Text line, 414-677-1250. Get your mind dump out. It's Monday morning. You had your coffee. There's a ton to get off your chest with this Packers tie, which feels like a loss. Join us. Get that in now and join the conversation. Here's mine.
Okay.
All right. I'm going to start by just saying morning radio, right,
I've heard of it.
is very difficult after a Packers night game.
True.
All right. It's not something to where when the game ends, you can just go, all right, night. And you're out. Like, that's just not the way it works, right? You are jacked up. Whether you're happy, you're sad, you're frustrated, you're mad. The emotions don't let you just go to bed.
True.
The Packers not only made that the most frustrating game, but then they took it into overtime. They were like, let's keep you up later. And then
when it went to overtime, I got a text from my wife that said she was in bed. She wrote, ducking Packers.
Yeah. Well said.
Yeah.
Then they end up getting the tie, which is so frustrating. And then you got to spend time on social media. Oh my gosh. The 3 hours of sleep today was not enough sleep.
No.
It was nowhere near enough sleep.
And real quick, the 480 writes in on the Nicolay Talk and Text line, 414-677-1250. Ties should not exist in professional sports. I don't know, alternating best of 5 long field goal kicks or something. Figure it out. Ties suck. That's the morning mind dump from 480.
Yes, we got to find out where the 480 is, where that is in the country. But thank you,
Arizona.
Thank you for joining us this morning, and having your mind dump. Yeah, I mean, listen,
Central Arizona, Mesa, Phoenix,
good pull.
Chandler. I feel like 480 has texted him before, so I had that in the back of my head.
Pull.
Thank you.
The entire game was a mind up. I can't imagine being at that game, having to say,
brutal.
I was at the only game in Packers history that wasn't a win at Jerry World in Dallas. I would hate to do that, but you know who does have to do that this morning?
Do we know someone who was at the game,
His
Josh?
own morning mind dump. Trevor Thomas joins us. Good morning, Trevor. How are you?
Oh, just peachy. How are you?
You sound the opposite of peachy, Trevor.
It sounds like
I am. I sound like the guy from the Oak Ridge Boys that's gonna sing Elvira. Like I used my voice a lot. I will rest it today. I'm excited to be back tomorrow. I have so many notes. So many notes, not only from the game, but just from my life the last 3 days down here.
I love
Remember, Josh,
notes.
I told you that there's always the little guy that messes with the tall guy. Always.
Yes.
We
talked on the way out of the stadium last night. I'll tell you about that tomorrow.
Oh, I cannot wait. So many stories. But listen, Trevor, this is the segment well. This is our morning mind dump. I'm giving you the floor to have that mind dump. Go ahead. You were there. You have to live with the fact that you witnessed the only tie and the only non-win from the Packers in Jerry World. I know you got a lot you got to get out this morning.
I do. Thanks for reminding me that I'm the problem. It's me. Appreciate that.
It's awesome.
What I don't understand is how the same thing happens in the game this week as it did last week on a field goal / extra point, where it is the exact same play and they get it blocked the exact same way. And that was the turning point in the game. Mitch, I heard you say that earlier. I woke up early and put you guys on while I was still trying to somehow sleep from last night. But how do you let an extra point, a blocked extra point, be the difference in a game in the early first half? Like, I'm kind of speechless, because when that happened, I was actually just coming back from the bathroom and I was like, what'd I miss? What happened? What just happened? Oh, they blocked extra point and ran it back for 2. And I was like, The stadium felt different then. The crowd felt different. The team looked different. How we scored 40 points after that, I have no idea.
Can I just tell you, Trevor, that, and you'll be surprised by this, I wasn't worried at that point. When it was 13-2, I sat on my couch going, I'm frustrated that our special teams still can't figure this out and that we're going to have the same problems. But we had still scored 2 touchdowns and the Cowboys had 0 touchdowns. And so at that point, I still felt like, okay, this team can still go out and win this game 30-10, 30 to whatever. But I still felt like that was the case, and clearly not.
Did you not make a mental note at that moment, though, and go, that could be a turning point we look back on?
Yeah, sure. It was the first layer, but it was a thin layer that then I paid attention to once we lost the lead in a minute. That was the big turning point for me. When I sat there going, how the hell did it just become 16-13? That was the point where now I'm going back and going, well, and there was that 2-point, return. So I guess that started, but I wasn't thinking about that until they had lost the lead. And
was there about
16-13.
3 minutes left when the Packers turned it over and they got the ball back? Roughly 2 minutes, whatever it was. My buddy Chris looked at me and said, geez, we can't give him the ball back here before the half. Bloop. Gave him the ball back before the half. Yeah. They score, and then they get the ball back to start the second half. Is Rich Bisaccia on my flight home today?
You should. Or
this was a question I asked during I Have Questions of, do the Packers actually have the cojones to let him go? Does something happen? Does something happen at some point?
Now hold on,
season?
Trevor. Now hold on. The only reason I think there's a possibility, and I would totally agree with you, no is the answer, is that Ed Policy okayed the deal for Micah Parsons. That it's not Mark Murphy anymore. It's Ed Policy, and I do wonder if that changes the vibe just a little bit.
Yeah, I don't think you're on there. But will they do it in the middle of the season, or are they going to wait? The hardest part about that, though, is things don't seem to be changing. And you know what? We talked about this last week, Josh. There's a coaching issue. I don't want to say it's the coach, but that time management, I tweeted this at the end of the night last night. I've never managed a clock at the end of an NFL game, and apparently I'm not alone.
Yeah.
Like, what was that?
No, I mean, listen, it was awful. And any idea of them, I mean, here, this is what it comes down to. The whole saying of all gas, no brakes, stop saying it.
Totally.
Because that is not what Matt LaFleur is about. He might have said that once. It is not what he is about. He went into that drive going, okay, we have to at least get 3, and we don't want to give the ball back to them because their field goal, their kicker can make it from anywhere. Instead of having the mindset of go score a touchdown, it was way too evident at that point.
The play before they chose to call the timeout, I think 34 seconds ran off the clock. And I'm standing up in section 425, which was actually 3 counties away from where they were playing, screaming, call a timeout, screaming, like hands doing the whole thing. Timeout, call a timeout. Didn't do it. And then they called the timeout.
I mean, that whole last set of downs.
Yep. The last 80 seconds was so absurdly poorly run.
Awful pitch for a 3-yard loss. And then I don't even know, like a quick little out.
Yeah, for 1 yard, for another
yards.
Yeah.
I mean, just awful play. When you're right there, you have the chance at the field. Take some shots. Hope for a PI call. do something. It was playing it safe. It was, well, we can't turn the ball over or we'll lose. Well, we can't be too risky or we'll lose. You were playing to not lose. Well, congratulations, LaFleur. You didn't lose. You tied.
What did he say after the game? You might be surprised to hear I did not get a chance to listen to the press conference. Did he go, yep, my bad?
Of course. I mean, it was a ton of the, yep, that's on me. We got to be better. The classic LaFleur part. And he did say, like, in hindsight, or hindsight is 2020 on that final drive in overtime and the clock management. But
But hindsight isn't 2020. First of all, hindsight's better than 2020. But in the moment, you can be 2020. It shouldn't have to be hindsight. It's okay to manage the game in the game the way you're supposed to do it. And time after time after time, LaFleur is just broken when it comes to end of halves and end of game scenarios. He doesn't understand the clock. He doesn't understand the plays. He just is lost every single time. He never makes the right call.
Mitch, you nailed it earlier. If that clock operator at AT&T Stadium still has a job today, I would be shocked.
I could not believe there was a second left on that
Me
clock.
neither.
If you're at home, of course there's a second left. But on the road, you got to let that run to zeros, and you got to embarrass the Packers nationally in front of a national audience.
Trevor, here's a little 8-second clip of LaFleur here.
Yeah, that's always a fine line that you're battling. Certainly, if I didn't know it ended like that, it would have gone faster. So, hindsight's 2020.
So yeah. So you can take that for what it is.
No,
I know.
No,
I know.
That doesn't even mean anything.
It doesn't.
Okay, can I make us laugh for a second here? I know we're drowning in our own tears, but I have a great story from Saturday night I got to tell you guys.
All right.
First of all, did you make it to Chicken and Pickle?
I did. It was a blast.
Yes.
Absolute blast. Marco Rivera was there. Bubba Franks was there. John Kuhn, is that his name? John Kuhn. Yeah, John Kuhn was there. Yes, Chicken and Pickle was a blast. I can't believe how many Packers fans were down here, you guys. It was full. A lot of Packer fans. Lots. So, all right. Speaking of Chicken and Pickle. So, we're getting ready to leave, and John wants to hang out and have a couple beers. And the crowd is mugging him. He cannot move. He's signing autographs and taking pictures and kissing babies. And he gets he's going to ride with us. He's going to jump in our Uber. But the Packers have vehicles there. And John goes, hey, I'm going to jump in this vehicle, but I'm only going to take it to the corner. And then I'm going to get out and I'll jump in with you guys. So that happened. That was hilarious. But he needed to do that just to get the crowd to stop. So we go out for dinner.
Love it.
We go out for dinner, myself, my wife, our friends, and John. And then afterwards, we go to this bar called, I think, Bar Louie was the name of it. And we're sitting outside on the patio, just kind of wrapping up the night. They have bags going on out there. And there is a woman standing to our right. And she said something about being from Wisconsin, right? That's like the opener. Let's talk. We're asking her who her favorite Packers were, who she liked, who she didn't like. And she's a huge Favre era fan. Loves the Favre Packers and loves the Packers of today. But there's a particular Packer team that she was not a fan of. That would be the Aaron Rodgers Super Bowl Packers team.
So she's not really a Packers fan.
Yeah, I was going to say, so that doesn't make any sense.
Sure, whatever.
She's a Favre fan.
Okay.
And
Remember,
that's okay. That happens.
Remember who's sitting next to us.
Yeah.
So I see a window and I push in.
Yeah.
And I say, hey, do you like that? Do you not like the whole team? Was there a certain player? Yeah, I never liked Aaron Rodgers. Okay. Well, what about the whole team? I thought that team was just conceited. The whole team. And I was like,
wow.
Did you? That's fascinating. John looks at her and goes, yeah, I don't know. They're not all bad guys, but I guess I understand, blah, blah. She looks at him and goes, anybody ever tell you look like John Kuhn?
No.
Incredible.
Perfect. Love it.
We did not spill the beans, by the way. We did not tell her.
Really? She had no idea. So she never found out that was John Kuhn.
No, we didn't. We just let her ride.
Good. She didn't deserve that.
Anybody ever tell you look like John Kuhn?
That's epic.
That's fantastic.
All right, let me tell you this other story quick before I have to pack up and make it to a flight. I told you, Josh, that the little men in this world that are usually intoxicated at some level love to pick on the tall guy.
Yep. I can't wait to do it myself. Yep.
We were walking out last night and walking back to, was it Texas Live? I think it's called, which, by the way, pause. That thing, that Texas Live setup down here is absurd. If you have not looked up Texas Live, look it up.
Know what that is.
Oh, it's the greatest pregame bar spot ever. And I live in Green Bay. I love Stadium View and all the live music.
Sure.
And Anduzzi's and all the things. This thing was on steroids. This was a Packers tailgate on steroids. It was a blast. So we go to this Texas Live thing, and somebody tells us that we're going to want to come back there after the game. That's where the Uber drop off, pick up, whatever. But you're going to need to hang out for about a half an hour before you're going to want to get an Uber in order to get back to your hotel.
So because of surge pricing, or?
Yeah, just the number of fans, surge pricing. I mean, at one time we looked. The ride down there was $48. The ride home, at one point was $400.
Oh man,
we got lucky. I think we took it for 60 or 70 or something like that. But whatever. We're walking back, and I'll give Dallas credit. The fans were nice. Nobody was chirpy. One dude down at the.
Of course they were. What leg did they have to stand on?
No, before. Well, true. I'm saying like before though. Like there was no like. I don't know. Everybody always talks about how good the Packers fans are at Lambeau. And so I was nervous. I didn't know what we were going to get into. But there was one dude down at this thing called the Stockyards that ran his mouth a little bit. I can't say it on the radio. But
sure.
Nonetheless, we're walking back to this Texas Live thing. And there's a dude behind me. And he lets out a JC. How tall are you?
Yeah, classic.
And I'm like, here we go. I said, I'm 6'8". And my name is Trevor, not JC. He's like, oh, and he looked at somebody else and he goes, you know how to take guys like that down, right? You just nail them in the knees and they go down real hard.
Go right to the ankles. Yep.
And I turned around and I said, what is it with all of you short Napoleon people? And then bleep, 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 that have to find a guy like me and go, here's how you take him down, everybody, in case you were wondering. Needless to say, he didn't like that. So he walked one way. I was pulled a different way. I didn't.
I love that you called him out for it, though.
Yeah, good. Good
so
on
dumb.
you.
Just leave. Like who? I wanted to walk behind him and go, JC, how short are you, man? They don't like that though. But anyway, long story short, he walked away and I didn't go to jail.
Yeah, I'm glad you didn't get in a.
Yeah, we're happy about
fight.
that. Yep.
I was a good boy. It was fun, you guys. I understand that there was. I understand that this was the first non-win in Jerry World history for the Packers.
Crazy,
but it wasn't a loss. And can I tell you, after the game, that feeling was I was befuddled.
Yeah,
and so was everybody else. You didn't know whether you were supposed to be
right. That's
very
defining the feeling after a tie. That's exactly what a tie is. You don't know how to feel. You're not happy, but you know that you could be more sad. I will say that I think that between the two fan bases today, Trevor, Cowboys fans are going to view this as a win.
Oh, for
while
sure.
Packers fans are viewing this as a loss.
Mm-hmm.
I understand that it was a tie on the record books. It's going to be the same for both teams. It sure is not going to feel that way. Moral victories. If you're counting moral victories, the Cowboys won last night.
I'll make a bunch of journal entries on the plane on the way home. I have lots of notes from the game. I'm going to recap all of the stories that I have along the way. I shared a few. I have many more.
Well, we can't wait to hear them. Safe travels back. We appreciate you joining us this morning, and we will see you tomorrow, my friend.
Adios, brothers.
All right.
Thanks, Trevor.
Trevor Thomas of...
Good luck on the plane.
Yeah, that's right. Of Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh. Coming to us live from Dallas. He was at the game yesterday. Still a little bit more positive than honestly I think I could have been being there, witnessing after the travel that type of frustrating game. Remember, it wasn't even just the way, the fact that they tied. It's how they got to the tie,
right,
as well. That is so frustrating.
Josh, I think when you're at the game, you have to make that decision at some point that you're either going to get really mad or you're going to like lean into the experience and knowing that you're there all weekend. But I agree. I don't know how you like. He wasn't positive at all, but he wasn't as negative as I would have thought he would have been, which means he didn't have to punch anybody out last night.
Yeah,
that's basically
which
what
could have gotten
yeah.
that way.
Yeah.
Quickly, we have some more text here on the Nicolay Law Fan Talking text line. Join us, please, 414-677-1250. Bunch of you guys already doing so. We appreciate you. 920 says, I am sure glad I fell asleep and didn't have to watch the second half of that Packers game, especially after hearing you guys relive it. Josh, you're the best. Hey, thank you.
I mean, Josh is the best. That I will cheer for.
Yeah, I mean,
but I will boo. Like, man, I fell asleep Thursday night. We did the show Friday morning.
Yeah.
Thursday night, I fell asleep during Seahawks Arizona. I went to bed. I didn't fall asleep. I went to bed because it was 17-3, and I didn't care. It's Seattle.
Listen,
Packers game.
Listen,
come on.
No.
Come
First
on.
of all, I'm not telling the 920 how to fan.
How to fan. I know.
I'm not going to tell him
I
how to
know.
fan. And that game was not a game. That was a stressful game. If you committed to that game, you were not falling asleep when the clock hit zeros.
Right.
So he made the decision, listen, I'm choosing sleep, knowing that if I don't choose sleep, I'm going to be up for another 2 hours minimum.
Yeah.
I don't mind that. The 262 says the blocked extra point was a big play, but the Packer drive killing false start. The next drive after was what cemented the game's direction in Dallas's favor. Yeah, penalties, being the same thing. There were a lot of the penalties were really frustrating on the ones too. Twice it was a penalty, false start penalty on the one. And then listen, there were a lot of ticky-tack, awful, get you frustrated penalties that happened in that game. The non-call on the intentional grounding.
I don't know how that happened.
My biggest.
Right. I have that written down in my notes.
Yes.
I don't know how on God's green earth the referees can make that call.
Yeah.
That was,
unchallengeable.
Right.
Being a
there's no
discretion.
One there.
Right. That was frustrating. There are a lot of frustrating things from this game. Go ahead, vent about them. Join us on the Nicolay Law Fan Talking text line, 414-677-1250. This is Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh, live from the 1250 AM and 105.7 FM The Fan Studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook.
comes some pressure, picked up for the moment. Love taking the shot. Two receivers, same area. Who's got it? The rookie Golden does at the 22-yard line. Dontavian Wicks and the rookie Matthew Golden were same place, same town, and Golden got it for a big game.
I mean, that was a highlight.
Sure felt like, again, knife through hot butter, and this one's going to be easy.
It was nice seeing Golden be out there
Yeah.
doing a little bit of work.
Maybe not spinning on punt returns, though.
Yeah.
Or on weird screen passes that he runs back to the line of scrimmage on.
Very true. Very true. Welcome back inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh live from the 1250 AM and 105.7 FM The Fan Studios.
Hi, Josh.
Powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Hi, Mitch Thunder Nellis. Thanks for being with me again. Trevor Thomas joined us in the last segment live from Dallas, where he will be traveling home today. He was there for the tie.
Godspeed.
And we want you guys to be a part of the show. We appreciate all the texts coming in.
Yep.
Also, you can watch us on YouTube at the
True.
Fan Milwaukee.
Yeah.
We appreciate you doing so there as well. I want to play some sound, Mitch. I want to play some sound, some pressers that happened yesterday after the game. This one here is from Micah Parsons. I got a little bit of Micah Parsons audio from you.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah, I'm not even gonna lie. I'm pissed off.
Me too.
I'm very disappointed.
Same.
Just overall how we performed. I even told Jordan to the side, thank you for having our back today. That's why it's so pivotal that, you play complimentary football, because today Jordan played like the player he was, and we let him down. We didn't live up to the expectations on defense.
I mean, no lies.
Yeah,
No lies detected.
No. And that's been the great thing the past month since Micah's been here, is whether it's positive, whether it's negative, he is fully transparent. And I've really enjoyed hearing him in the locker room after games, after all 4 games. He's just going to tell you like it is every single time. He's going to tell you what he sees. He's going to tell you what he hears in the locker room. And he's got to be like, the beat guy's got to love going to him for quotes, because his quotes are always, he again, transparent, and he's going to tell you the truth.
You know what? When he said that, and then just after the game in general, looking at the score and how they played, there was a soundbite when he got traded of Jerry Jones saying, listen, obviously Micah's, a great player, blah, blah, blah.
Mm-hmm.
We had him for a number of years, and, he was on some of those teams that struggled.
Yep.
And, you'd love to say, well, yeah, but that was because of you guys. It wasn't his fault. It was scheme. It was defensive coordinator. It was blah, blah, blah.
Right. It was all 11 guys.
Right.
It wasn't one guy.
I'm not going to say that Micah Parsons had his best game yesterday.
Okay.
In the return to Dallas.
Right.
Right. I mean, and if he did, if you're going to argue against that and say, no, Micah did what Micah needed to, then where was LVN? Where was Gary? Where were the other guys that are supposed to get to the quarterback? I don't want to hear this. Well, Dak just got the ball out really quick. I don't know. That's not good enough.
Right. There was not the pressure that we have seen the first 3 games. There just wasn't, from whether it was from Micah or from those other guys. I mean, there were a couple times where Micah got close. There was a time at the end, LVN got really close. Gary, Gary made some actually played okay against the run. They got gashed pretty decently against the run, though. But it was not, this was not the pass rush we saw the first 3 weeks. And it's not like, Dallas had 2 new guys on their line. I know we made a big deal. We've been making a big deal, and we're going to talk for the next 2 weeks about what needs to happen on the Packers offensive line. But the lack of pass rush, even against short, even with quick drops and quick releases, it was significant and apparent and obvious last night.
Yeah, and so I do appreciate the fact that Micah said that, but it's still unacceptable. It's unacceptable play.
Well,
for
and he agrees.
What we expected.
Yep.
Here's another soundbite from Micah talking about taking ownership.
For me and everyone, like I'm not even pointing fingers. Just like we got to find a way to get off the field, and we didn't do a great job at that tonight.
True.
And
True.
I take ownership. Coach and then took ownership. But ownership is one thing, but doing something about it is another.
Mhm.
So
That's what you just said, Josh.
I said tomorrow let's all watch this film as a team. Let's break it down. Let's talk about it. I think that's the tough conversations that we need to have all together.
Okay,
Yep.
This is the most important clip I found from Micah Parsons' presser and what he said.
Okay.
He said, it's not just about taking ownership.
Mhm.
It's about doing something about it.
Yes.
To me, I'm hoping that Matt LaFleur was listening when Micah Parsons said that. Because if I have to hear Matt LaFleur one more time say, we have to be better,
Yep.
That's on us. That's on me. That's on our coaching staff. You can put the blame wherever you want. You can take ownership of it. But if there's no change, those words mean nothing. Okay? If there is one time out of 5 games, 6 games, 7 games, a season where you go, that's on me. We got outbeat. I'm better than that.
Okay.
And then it's changed.
Right. That can happen once, right?
Right. But if it's becoming a boy who cried wolf every week, you're going up there. And I'm even talking in the wins, right?
Yeah.
Even in the wins, if anyone from the media asks a question about what happened on that one play, well, that's on me. That's on our coaching staff. We got to be better in practice. Then I better see a change.
Right. Then I better see it
ownership.
Better. Yep.
I better see something change from that. And so I appreciate
Micah
the fact
seems
that
like the guy who's going to work toward change, not just talk about how there needs to be change. It sounds like, and even like the series he got pulled into the tent, and then he was I don't know if he was fine,
he was pissed.
Yeah, but he came back out, and literally they flashed to him, and he's on the sideline, and I don't know who it was, one of the big guys, one of the interior guys, they are on the tablet, going over plays. He is constantly studying. I really do think he is trying to get better. I do wonder how that rubs off on Gary and LVN. I wonder how it rubs off on Edge and on Quay, because it just seemed like a total failure yesterday by the defense.
I mean, when they talked about it on the broadcast, when he came out of the tent, he immediately ran to look at what had just happened on the field.
Right, and was so
that
mad.
The Cowboys had just scored. Yep. Right when he was not on the field, he was so upset. Yep. He wanted to slam his helmet down. He held back.
Right, yeah.
But I love that intensity.
Yep.
And I love this response, because if he would have just said, "We got to do better,"
right?
Well, no, duh,
no bleep.
Right. Of course you have to do better. But we
all agree.
Him saying, "I'm taking ownership, and we have to change,"
and
that next step meant.
Right.
I'm like, okay.
Me too.
This guy gets it.
Not them, not this person. All of us need to get better.
Can the coaching staff listen to what Parsons just said and do the same thing? Because
we'll see. That's Jeff Hafley, right?
That's what I'm not seeing.
Yep. That's fair. Yeah. It's just, again, for the past month, we've heard all the right things from Micah Parsons. Nobody knows. I mean, he did have that moment where it looked like his back did seize up on him. He got taken into the tent, which was a weird situation because we didn't understand what was going on with, was he in concussion protocol? Were they checking out his head? Were they looking at his back? What was going on? He was upset, but he keeps saying the right things. But you're right. Josh is absolutely right. And he's got to do it on the field. And we saw that big tackle he had at the end, whether it was a sack or not. I mean, it was Dak could have gotten into the end zone. They held him to a field goal. That was a big play. But we don't expect one big play from Micah a game. We're not paying him for what the Packers aren't paying him.
Correct.
I'm not paying him. We're not expecting as fans one big play a game. I don't know what it will take to get this defense to click, if it needs to click, or if they really are a different team at home, or if they just got hot their first 2 games and now this is who they are. We don't know any of the answers to any of these questions. They have a bye week now to clean things up. They have 4, I don't want to say easy games, but 4 winnable games coming out of the bye before things get tough and Philly comes to town. So take your bye, take your 4 weeks, and let's get to work.
This is Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh, live from the 1250 AM and 105.7 FM, the Fan Studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook.
Yeah, I mean, I think we moved the ball. That's what you want to do. You move the ball well. I think I think the sad part is we didn't be able to take any shots right there to the end zone until that last play, which is tough. I think we had a good play called, and they, didn't play the way we thought they were going to play like they did the play before that. So, I think there's a lot of stuff that we still have to clean up, just throwing the ball in bounds and a running clock situation right there. So there's stuff that we got to figure out and be better at right there in that situation.
Hard to disagree with Jordan Love there talking after the game.
Stupid.
Welcome back.
No shots. That last shot was it, but no shots.
No shots. He's not wrong. This is Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh, live from the 1250 AM and 105.7 FM The Fan Studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sports Book. Make sure to join the conversation at the Nicolay Law Fan Talk and Text line, which is 414-677-1250. You can also watch Mitch Thundernellis and myself here on YouTube at The Fan Milwaukee.
Hi.
We appreciate everyone doing so. Again, so many messages and people coming in. I'm not surprised. This is the day to vent, and there's a ton to vent about because that tie felt like a loss.
Yep.
It's not a loss in the record books, but it sure felt like a moral loss.
Yep.
We have on the talking text line here our friend Schwartz Center joining us. Hey, thanks for joining us. He says special teams have cost the Packers 2 weeks in a row. Field goal / extra point and kickoff have sucked in big moments. Special teams needs to take ownership and make adjustments. Rich B, money bags, figure it out.
Ooh.
That from Schwartz Center. Here's my thing with that. I don't want him to figure it out.
Right.
Schwartz Center. I want someone else to figure it out.
Yep.
I am done with Rich Bisaccia.
Yep.
I know that it's not going to be because that's not what NFL teams do, but I really wish that it did because I can't. I know it could always be worse.
Sure.
But man, is it bad right now.
Well, and the Nicolay Law Fan Talking text line, 414-677-1250, 414-677-1250. You can also find us on the socials at The Fan Milwaukee on Twitter and on Facebook. And, of course, we have our personal Twitters and Facebooks open as well. So I've got a number of messages to read. And Jake chimes in, Bisaccia needs to go. LaFleur can go from overly aggressive, like at the end of the first half, to way too passive, I'd say conservative, fourth quarter and overtime, while also having terrible clock management skills. You know what's not a great combination, Josh?
What's that?
Vacillating.
Ooh, that's a word.
Yep. Vacillating between overly aggressive and overly conservative and having terrible clock management skills. Like you put those in a bubble or in a vacuum somewhere, and you know what comes out? Poop. That's all that comes out is poop. It never works out. It's not okay. Eric says you can't keep giving up one block kick per game.
No.
You definitely can't.
Absolutely
You definitely can't. Mike writes in, not overly mad, not overly happy. Kind of like a tie. Love balled out. Dobbs balled out. Special teams and defense were meh, but the offense until the final 20 seconds in overtime carried the team. I'm meh. Mike is meh. Let's see. Zach writes, special teams is crap. Defense got no pressure on Dak. Highly disappointed. Frank says, get healthy and reset.
Well, you have no choice but to do that now.
Right. I mean, that's happening. And you talk about getting healthy. I think these next 2 weeks, microscope on Zach Tom and Aaron Banks, right? Microscope on them to see what they can do. Can they get back on the field? Can this? Did you see that? The graphic they ran at some point? I think it was in the second quarter. That all of last year,
yes,
they had 9 combinations of the offensive line,
tied for the fewest,
right? And they're already at 10 this season,
right? Second most.
Not awesome. No, not awesome, Josh. I know awesome. You're awesome. The offensive line, not awesome.
All right, how about this one from this is Andy in Brookfield.
Yep.
Who said maybe Devontae Wyatt is the key to the Packers defense. They were winning 13-2 with about 2 minutes in the final half or in the first half when he got injured, and they fell apart after that. Andy in Brookfield. Yeah, obviously losing Devontae Wyatt in that game was a huge part of it. Again,
he's their run stopper.
Again, though, if you're telling me that this defense, this elite defense, is one piece, is one Devontae Wyatt from allowing 13 points to allowing 40 points in a game, that's a big issue.
Yep.
Injuries happen in football.
Yep.
If your team is one piece, one Devontae Wyatt away from going from the number 1 or number 2 defense in the league to allowing 40 points, then Packers fans should be worried. Then this is something to be worried about. Also, we got Ziggy here in the 262 that said, that was a great rebound game for the offense. The defense got torched repeatedly. What the heck was this soft zone fourth quarter defense where the sidelines were open 10, 20 yards downfield? Yeah, Ziggy, listen, the secondary, I think in general, we knew wasn't great.
Right.
That was on this defense. That was a part that was an opportunity.
Yep.
Right. That was a weakness that these other teams could focus on. The problem with that, if that was their focus, was we had this pass rush
that covered up a lot of it.
Right. Which was going to give them opportunities to make up for mistakes.
Absolutely.
I was terrified anytime Dak Prescott was allowed to just throw up a 50-50 ball.
Right.
I mean, he just threw the ball twice in the air where you would have thought it was just going to go out of bounds.
Yep.
Once into double coverage, and the Cowboys came down with it. I think that was not the person you said before. The person who stepped up because CeeDee Lamb went down.
Oh, Pickens.
Thank you.
Yep.
One of them was Pickens, and then that was the double coverage.
Who I had in all my underdogs, by the way.
Oh,
that worked out well for me.
Okay,
it was terrible, but
I was going to say, no offense, I don't care.
I
at
had
all.
Golden in all of them, also.
Well, okay. I mean, I'm happy that you're happy,
right,
but I really
maybe I'll buy you breakfast.
Okay, see, if you did that, then at least there's something in it for me.
Well, you told me to get to the studio. I was going to stop and I was going to get you everything.
I can't help but give you a big.
Who cares?
Okay,
yeah,
that's a big who cares.
Nicely done.
But it's just that's not enough of a reason. This secondary play was atrocious on huge plays, specifically that one in overtime. I mean,
that was so weird.
It's just a chucked up ball. I swore that was going out of bounds.
Well, and I think,
but
Dak,
how do you stop on the play? How do you just
Keyshawn just watched the play happen, and I got a text from a buddy right away. Is like, he said, rewind that play and watch Keyshawn, because he watches the guy, and I think he thought that Dak was just throwing the ball out of bounds, and so he just watched it. But obviously, Tolbert or whatever it was, went and got the ball, and
he didn't think it was dead.
No,
he kept playing.
Yeah, that was a crazy play. Michael writes into the show, they will never get to a Super Bowl with LaFleur. I love the big takes.
Yeah, that is a hot
yes.
Monday take.
The lack of attention to detail is stunning. The clock management at the end of overtime was almost fireable. How an NFL coach can screw up that badly is hard to believe. It doesn't matter how much talent they have. They do not exercise the attention to detail necessary to get to a Super Bowl. Last night was a coaching failure in every regard. I love the overreaction, but there are elements of truth there. There are absolutely elements.
Who did you say that was?
That was Michael.
Michael, I can't wait to see if you join us for a Take Back Tuesday segment
tomorrow.
And you want to take that back, because I'm not going to tell you how to fan, but I love that take, but that is emotion. You are saying that with pure emotion.
Yeah.
And I wonder if you'll end up taking that one back.
Yep. Mike, different Mike. So that was Michael. This is Mike now.
Mike.
Yeah. Mike in Tosa writes in, lack of execution. That falls on the special teams coach again. Parsons was neutralized most of the game. Yeah. So you were talking about the secondary, and I wonder where X is, because X is supposed to be the center fielder back there who's making plays, and it just seems, for whatever reason, and I don't know what I'm not a scheme guy. I'm not an all 22 guy. I watch football games, right? I've been watching football games for more than 40 years.
Yep.
I'm not an expert.
Yep.
But last year, X was all over the place, and then we knew the second half of the year, teams purposefully threw away from him. No one wanted to mess with X last year.
And the quarterbacks didn't have as much time to throw the ball this year as they did last year. Last year, he was doing that type of play when the quarterback had 4-5 seconds, because no one was getting to the quarterback. Now there's more pressure and still not as much X running around breaking up plays.
I don't know. Yeah, so I don't know where he is. I know I saw him a couple times come in and support the run. But with that center fielder out there who was just an interception machine last year, there were some balls thrown last night.
No.
Yeah, there were some balls thrown last night that were just like, that seemed to be in the air forever. And even though they were at the sidelines, man, it would have been nice if X could have made a play.
Yeah. Listen, on paper, you look at this defense and you go, all right, you got Parsons and Gary up front.
Yep.
you got X in the back, and you got Halfley calling the plays. I don't know that you can find a way to put together a better pieces.
Yep.
And that's why when what you saw on paper was happening in the first 3 weeks with the defense, you're feeling great. You're feeling like, yeah, this is exactly what should be happening.
Yes.
And it's happening. That's exciting. And then week 4, when they needed it, not there.
Nope.
Mitch, I wanted to let you know that Sports Talk on the Fan is presented by Paramount Plus. You can't count on much, but you can always count on Sundays with the NFL on CBS and Paramount Plus. Watch your local NFL game live every Sunday all season long. Visit ParamountPlus.com/NFL to get started today. In the 8 o'clock hour, we got some stuff to talk about. Plus, Andy Herman will be joining us at 8:25. But I need to answer a question that was asked all last week by the national media and local media going into this game. We will talk about that next on Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh, live from the 1250 AM and 105.7 FM The Fan Studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook.
I am an eternal optimist. So please, God, don't tell me that you're an eternal pessimist.
I like to say I'm a realist.
Oh, great. We're going to go along great. This is going to be great.
This is Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh.
Crowd is here about. Inside the defensive line, right on the hash mark, closest to you. Play fake, looking. Here's Parsons chasing, taking off. Parsons gets him. He comes down. He's down by contact. That is no gain. Could technically be called a sack, depending on how the statisticians deem it. Either way, it's third down.
It doesn't matter what it is. It is a touchdown saving play by Micah Parsons.
Welcome in to hour number 3 of Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh, live from the 1250 AM and 105.7 FM, the Fan Studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sports Book. Josh Albrecht here. Mitch Thundernellis filling in for Trevor Thomas, who is in Dallas on his way back here to Wisconsin. Obviously, the main topic thing we're talking about almost all day today. You'll be hearing it from 6A to 6P. The Packers tie the Cowboys 40-40.
What? I didn't even know there could
On
be
Sunday Night
ties in the
Football.
NFL, Josh.
Yep, there sure can be.
What?
We appreciate everyone texting in to the Nicolay Law Fan Talk and Text line, 414-677-1250. Make sure to join us when Andy Herman comes in next. Very excited to talk to him about the game yesterday as well. And Mitch, I want to talk about this because it was the big narrative. It was the big question. It was the big topic of conversation all week last week was the trade.
Yeah.
It was the big trade. Micah Parsons comes over to the Packers from the Dallas Cowboys. We send Kenny Clark. No one seemed to really want to talk about Kenny Clark going. It was all about Micah Parsons.
Yes.
And the impact he was going to have, and that decision by Jerry Jones. Cowboy fans so upset, not even with Parsons, just upset with Jerry.
Yep.
All of these things. And it was who won the trade, blah, blah, blah. Then this game happened. And this is why the moral victory goes to the Cowboys, even though it was a tie, because
for sure
Jerry said this trade is about the future. We're going to get some number 1 picks in here. We're going to build this team up to be the competitive team that I know it can be, and it's going to be everything that this team needs to be. Listen, I love Mike, and Mike is a great guy, but, we got to think about our future, blah, 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 all that other stuff that he said. And the Packers are sitting here going, we have the tools to win now.
Mm-hmm.
We just needed this one piece, and we got him.
Yep.
Policy said, I'm going to come in here and I'm going to shake things up and I'm going to make a big move. I'm going to make an impact.
Yep.
The Packer fandom is going to know we are here to play.
Yes.
And then there was a tie. So if you're sitting here today and you're saying, who won the trade? Well, you could start by saying the trade was a tie. Because that's how it went.
Right. But no. Because it wasn't, the teams weren't, after the trade, the teams weren't supposed to tie.
Correct.
Like, this wasn't a trade to even the teams out. This was a trade to widen the disparity between these teams. In the immediate future, not the far future that Jerry Jones is talking about, the Packers were supposed to get better. The Cowboys were supposed to get worse. The Packers have already beaten the Cowboys in recent history. This shouldn't even be a test. The Packers should win this one pretty easily. And that's how most people saw it coming into the week, locally and nationally. Now, I mean, last night on the broadcast, all 9 prognosticators, it was 9-0.
Yeah.
All 9 people predicted the Packers to win this game. So if that's the prognostication and that's the expectation after the trade, absolutely the Cowboys have the early lead. I don't know if you want to say it's 1-0 Cowboys or it's Cowboys have the 75% to 25% edge in the trade. Whatever metric, whatever funny pie chart you want to use, the Cowboys have the lead in this trade.
Correct. Now, the nice thing, if you're a Packers fan and you're looking at this, is the outcome of this trade is not based on these two teams playing each other, right? It's based on the outcomes of their seasons.
Yep.
And not even the Cowboys finding out if they won this trade doesn't even happen now. It happens next year and the year after, right? But the fact that they were able to get a tie in this game without Micah Parsons is what gives them that moral victory. The Packers get to find out if this trade worked for them this season because they made the trade for this season. The trade leading to this Packers defense giving up 40 points is not a positive for that trade working out for the Packers. I'm not saying Micah played bad. I'm not saying that Micah's to blame. I'm saying if you are going to look at this national narrative of who won the trade, it is very difficult waking up this morning and saying the Packers still made the right move.
Yes.
Not saying that it won't be that way next week or the week after or the week after.
It's difficult.
But just based on today, based on what happened less than 12 hours ago.
So it's, the way I hear you say that is you're kind of looking at this in a vacuum, and you can't look at it out of vacuum. I can't say that the Packers made the wrong move.
Let me ask you this. Ask you this. If Micah does great, but this defense still gives up 30 to 40 points a week, was it a good trade? If they go 9-7 or whatever, 9-8, and
or 9-7-1,
or
yeah,
oh God,
you got to say that now.
My Lord, if that happens, after they made this trade, do you go? It was still a good trade.
I'm not sure I do.
Right.
Partly because at 9-7-1, you lose the 18th pick. You don't lose the 25th pick, and that there's a difference there in value. There's also a difference in 9-7-1 very easily does not make the playoffs, and we expect this team to make the playoffs.
Absolutely to make the playoffs.
And so I think if this team does, and I would say 9-7-1 would be an underachievement. If this team does underachieve to that level, then there's bigger issues than this trade. And then we misvalued Matt LaFleur. We misvalued Jordan Love. We misvalued a number of other players, and we misvalued Brian Gutekunst. That I think that if this team, they don't need to go 12-4-1. They can go 11-5 and what they have to have a good record. They need to make the playoffs. It'd be nice if they won the NFC North, but if they make it as a wild card, that does happen as well. But we need to see on the field. They don't have to be as dominant as the first two games, but they have to be a lot better than they were last night. And if they are the team that played last night for the next 13 games, then yes, this franchise has bigger issues than whether they made the right trade for Micah Parsons or not. This franchise is in trouble.
Right. See, the whole reason why I'm saying this is because this trade wasn't about just having a Micah Parsons on the team. It was that you had aspirations and expectations, realistic expectations, to really make something out of this season. And so if you traded for Micah Parsons, even if he plays great, and you don't meet or exceed those expectations, then the trade didn't work. It's just that's the facts of it.
Did you see what Jason and Wilmot just wrote in?
I did. Jason, we're gonna get to it right now.
If this happens, Jason, trust me. I'm done. I'm changing careers. I'm gonna go be a librarian. If this is what happens, I don't want sports in my life anymore. I just want to be a librarian. I just want to read books. I just want quiet and peacefulness.
This is on the Nicolay Law fan talk and text line, which, of course, is 414-677-1250. And we have a few to get to here. But we will start with Jason and Wilmot, who said, I have a bad feeling Micah is going to be the Packers' Dame. Huge expectations and investment, and just doesn't work out, Jason and Wilmot. All right, let's stop right there, okay? First of all, this isn't a chemistry issue, I don't think. That's the comparison, I don't think translate the same as apples to apples.
Right. But it might be bananas to plantains. It might not quite be apples to oranges. It might be bananas. It might be in the similar.
But when you look at Dame and Giannis working together, right? There were a lot of questions of why can't this chemistry
They
work?
wanted to make it work. It just didn't
The chemistry with Micah Parsons and Rashawn Gary, for example, is working just fine. Rashawn Gary is getting his opportunities because Micah Parsons is on the field.
Right.
I don't think that comparison, even if Micah Parsons, even if they struggle, I don't think that comparison can work. But I love that you texted that in, Jason Walmart, and I really, really hope that you hold on to that for a Take Back Tuesday because I think that one will be used.
I don't know. I hope so. But now that seed's been planted, I do not feel good. I do not feel good right now.
We got another Mike here who texts in that says, towards the end of the game last evening, Chris Collinsworth said that the new kickoff rules make the game better. WTH. I personally thought that they had. Am I right?
I personally think that it
sucks.
No. Yep.
And on that note, our special teams / kickoff, where it was the average that Dallas started at and where the Packers did, I thought they had better placements, shorter field all night long. They did. And they just, the Chris Collinsworth and Mike Tirico just kept bringing up how Aubrey was doing these special kicks that were perfectly in the zone and forcing the Packers to not be able to run it back and have to down it because they wouldn't be able to get past the 20, blah, 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 blah.
Right.
I don't understand enough about technique with this new kickoff to know what the hell that was about. I just know that McManus didn't do that. They had more opportunities.
Aubrey is using sliders, darts, and change-ups to disrupt opponents on the kickoff, which I get that he's like kicking knuckleballs and stuff like that, but I still don't know why you can't come up and catch that ball. Like he's kicking it slower. You have time to get up and get that ball.
But is there a rule to where you can't, like, I don't know.
No, you can catch the ball.
At any point. You can run up. Yeah.
Sure.
I don't know. But
it
all goes back to special teams. That all goes back to special teams.
Yep. And Busalachi, big booty, stinky rich, just terrible.
Probably my favorite name you said.
Yeah.
262 says, I know what's happening here. We all sacrificed the Packers season in favor of the Brewers winning the World Series.
Okay.
I'm still okay with that.
If that's the case, I'm okay with that.
Yep. And the second that happens, 262, I will read that text back on these airwaves and say, you were right, and it was totally worth it. Until that happens, I'm going to be pissed that this team came away with a tie in Dallas.
Should not have been a tie.
40 tie. That's the other thing.
Yeah.
The fact that the tie was 40-40. If it's like 17-17,
which most ties are low scoring, inept offense, missing field goals,
then I think that I'm still upset.
Right.
But at least at that point, I'm going, all right, it's still an offensive and special teams problem.
Yep.
The defense is still elite. They're still out there doing their thing through 4 weeks. They only gave up 17 points. They might not even be happy with that. That's still the most points they've given up this year, blah, 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 blah. But 40 points, a 40-40 tie, just makes it all question marks. Now it's all question marks. It's, wait a minute, so now is the offense okay? Did the offense figure things out? I mean, the O-line still didn't look great, but man, they found ways to put up 40 points. Josh Jacobs was back in a lot of ways, so I guess I'm happy about that.
No.
But then I got the defense, and now the defense is, it just creates a ton more questions, a ton more problems.
Yep.
Thank the Lord that there's a bye week. I mean,
I think so, but yes and no. I mean, doesn't the bye week just give us more time to be like concerned and break things down and panic and get in our heads? Like, don't you kind of like the Cleveland game? We wanted them to turn around right away and play right away. I almost want them to, although I do want the offensive lineman to get right, and I do want the defense to figure out the scheme, and I really want them to look at special teams. So I guess you're right, Josh. I literally talked myself into it.
I just this
second. I think that the bye week, I hate week 5 bye week. I think it's way too early generally.
Usually.
Yeah. But I think for this team, what's going on, I think it's just right.
Yes. This ended up being exactly what the Packers needed. And going into half, I said, they just got to find a way to get through this game. Just find a way to win this game against the team that you 100% should beat in the Cowboys. It doesn't have to be pretty. It hasn't been pretty, but just find a way, right? And so the Packers kept coming back. The offense kept scoring. You saw Dobbs have the best game he's ever had. a 3-touchdown game, and you go, okay, they're finding ways. This is going to be an ugly win, but they're going to find a way to win.
Jacobs was awesome.
And they're going to go into this break and a much needed, very early bye. And then they tie. And it just felt so frustrating, like it was a loss. You're going into this with a loss. I know it's not a loss, but it felt like a loss. And also, when you have a competitive division, which the Lions, I don't know what happened in week 1 against the Packers for this Lions team, but starting in week 2, man, have they turned it on.
Yes.
They are right back to being the Lions team
they sure have.
that we are used to seeing over the last 2 seasons. So that's scary. And now you have in the record books and in the standings, you have this tie, which is just going to be frustrating to see all season long and how it plays out and what it means for this team. We appreciate everyone texting in on the Nicolay Law Fan Talk and Text line, 414-677-1250. We promise we will get to more of your texts. But coming up next, Andy Herman of Pack-A-Day Podcast is going to join us, and we're going to get his thoughts on the game, his feelings, and he's going to have to answer some of these questions that I've had all show long because we talked to him on Friday. He also had some very confident things to say about this team and how they were going to perform on Sunday. Sure didn't turn out that way. We are going to see what Andy has to say. Make sure to join us. You can, of course, also watch us on YouTube at The Fan Milwaukee. This is Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh, live from the 1250 AM and 105.7 FM The Fan Studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook.
Here's McManus for the tie, 34. And this one is good, and this one ends in the second highest scoring tie game in NFL history.
Oh, boy. Welcome back to Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh. Live from the 1250 AM and 105.7 FM The Fan Studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. I'm Josh Albrecht. Trevor Thomas is still in Dallas. He will be back tomorrow, and we can all
True story.
We can all give him a
and he's tall.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's very tall.
In case you're wondering.
Yes. Yeah. That's true.
Yeah. Hashtag facts.
Yes. But I'm very excited for what we have coming up next year. We got Andy Herman, a Pack a Day podcast, joining us right now. He is on the fan guest hotline powered by Gruber Law. One call, that is all. Andy, first of all, thank you for being here with us. Second of all, what the hell?
First of all, you're welcome. Second of all, I agree. We did it. We got the second highest scoring tie in NFL history. What more do you possibly want? Like that's why you play the game. That's why you play the game. You play for records.
You play to win the game. You play to win the game, Andy.
Says who?
Yes, you do. Yeah, frustrating game to say the least for a variety of different reasons. Never in a million years could you have told me that Green Bay put up 40 points in this game and they would not have had enough points to beat Dallas. Never could you have probably told me that the defense allowed 40 points and that Green Bay did not lose the game either. Just one of those really bizarre and crazy games. You feel bad, quite frankly, for both quarterbacks in this game because I thought both quarterbacks were fantastic and both deserving of wins in this one. And unfortunately, neither end up getting it. And just another catastrophic mistake on special teams, some poor clock management and game management, certainly towards the end of the game. And just mistakes that you would have sort of hoped that this team would have learned from already that unfortunately, although it's still the first quarter of the season, they certainly have still not learned and are hopefully going to in the near future. This is going to be a very frustrating season in totality.
So, Andy, I had you in the back of my head all game last night when I was watching this because on Friday, when you joined Mitch Thunder and Ellis and myself here on these airwaves, I had said, we're trying to figure out the identity of this team. And I had said the identity of the team in the first two games was that this team was Super Bowl bound. They were elite defense and well-rounded enough with an offense to be Super Bowl bound. Mitch said, no. That shouldn't be the narrative. That shouldn't be the identity. If it is, it's wrong. And that the identity should be that we have an elite defense. And you said, I'm kind of in between you guys, but leaning more Mitch because this defense is elite and they're still figuring things out on offense, blah, blah, blah. And then I watched this defense give up 40 points. And so now I'm coming to you on Monday and asking you, what is the identity of this team? And do you still believe it is that this team has this elite defense?
Well, they certainly did not last night. I still think in the end they're going to have a fantastic defense, but they're going to have to obviously go out and prove that moving forward. But I would argue pretty easily right now that this team is identityless. Like they don't have a specific identity. They don't have something that they can hang their hat on quite yet. And I think that's a problem. I think one of the big issues right now for both sides of the ball has just been that this team is not winning the turnover battle. And we just know like that is your casino style cheat code where the house wins when you win the turnover battle. And Green Bay, Jordan Love, Matt LaFleur are phenomenal when they win the turnover battle. And right now they're not winning it and they're not getting turnovers at all. Even when this defense in the first few games had been really good, they're not generating turnovers. And we're still seeing turnovers here and there, not in like massive quantities, but we're still seeing some turnovers in some costly moments from the Packers on offense and on special teams, quite frankly. So that to me is one of the biggest issues that's here right now is that you're not generating those. You're not setting up your offense in plus situations to get easier drives. You're not taking points off the board from the defense by generating those turnovers. And it's just a grind and everything is kind of a grind for this team. And when you have a team that's not generating turnovers, when you have a special teams that is losing the field position battle and just losing in general, It just, again, makes it really, really difficult that your defense has to do a lot of heavy lifting. Your offense has to do a lot of heavy lifting. And that's taxing throughout the course of a season. And right now you see a team that is taxing itself in a real way. And like I said, I don't know that there's anything that you can say, well, I can guarantee you going into Cincinnati, this team is going to do this. I just have no idea. And I think that's a fair assessment of this team right now.
I agree with you.
Andy Herman joining us on the Fan Guest Hotline, powered by Gruber Law. Hi, Andy.
Hey, buddy. How you doing?
Did you get any sleep?
2.5 hours, something like that.
That sounds all right. Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
Special teams is a mess. People are calling for Rich's head. The whole kickoff debacle with why can Aubrey do these knuckleball kicks and Savion Williams doesn't know how to catch them? Why are kicks getting blocked? Why is teams such a mess?
Yeah. This is a fair question to ask. So, I think the really frustrating one too is you take the lead by 4 points at the end of the game. Jordan puts together a fantastic drive, touchdown to Romeo Dobbs, and you immediately allow a kick return out to the 45-yard line?
Yeah,
basically
midfield. Yeah.
Midfield.
So you immediately put them in plus territory. 3 plays later, Dallas has the lead back. And obviously that's
seconds.
Yeah, is on the defense too. It's not just on the special teams, but to immediately allow a big kick return in that situation, you feel like if you keep them down to their if what Brandon Aubrey's doing, if you hold them to the 20-yard line, 25, 28, 29-yard line, that you feel pretty good that they're not going to be able to go the 71 yards. Maybe they would have based on how this game was going. I'm not sure, but you feel good about it. But then all of a sudden you set them up basically at midfield, and it just sets that entire drive up for failure. So it wasn't just the fact that they allowed another catastrophic play on the field goal unit, which you cannot have the game-altering play a week ago be on a field goal block. You would hope, the entire week working on field goal protection and then have another catastrophic error the next week. That just can't happen.
I mean, LaFleur was asked about that after the game in the presser, and he said, we worked on a week. I thought we worked on it enough all week. Clearly we didn't. We have to do something. We got to be better, blah, blah, blah. I went back to the same stuff he always says. But yeah, I mean, he kind of confirmed that, that was what they worked on. And I'm sitting here going, okay, so if you're the head coach of this football team and you are aware that your players, your coaching staff worked on this problem, and then it happened again, something has to change, right? You put the people in charge to fix the mistake. Mistakes happen, and then you learn from them, you change, and they get better, and then it didn't get better. But it seems like everyone's kind of in agreement, as much as I feel like the majority of fans want it to happen. Nothing is going to happen with Rich Bisaccia. They're not going to make a move. There's not going to be any big coaching changes during the bye week. Are you in agreement with that, Andy, or do you think that could happen?
Yeah, I think in general, these sort of things, just firing somebody doesn't usually necessarily get the results that I think people are ultimately hoping for. I will say I certainly understand the desire for it. I'm not being like, what a stupid thing to say. Like, what are you possibly thinking? I understand it. It's not good enough. It hasn't been good enough. I talked about this offseason of all the surprises of Green Bay this offseason. Now, granted, this was before they traded for Micah Parsons, but of actually spending a first-round pick on a wide receiver and giving a big contract to Aaron Banks and Nate Hobbs and those sort of things. The thing that stunned me most about this offseason for Green Bay wasn't that they just kept Rich Bisaccia. It was that they extended him and gave him a raise this past offseason based off of what? I have no idea. The special teams has certainly not made strides in the Rich Bisaccia era. In fact, it has continued to be a massive, frustrating mess for the vast majority of it. There are positive signs here and there. It was better when they had McManus last year. It was better with Daniel Whalen. He showed signs and things like that. But in totality, it just still wasn't good enough. And to bring him back is one thing, but to extend him and give him that that was remarkable to me. And now you're in this spot where I don't know what you do in a bye week, because what you have to immediately do is then figure out all right, what's your solution after firing Rich Bisaccia, right? Mm-hmm. The truth is that you're probably not just finding a great special teams coordinator out there on September 29th to go and hire and bring in somebody new and fresh. You're probably just going with one of the guys that's your assistant special teams coordinators, who in general are probably under Rich Bisaccia for probably a reason. So I don't know if it's Matt has to get more involved in the process or whatever that thing is. But again, I understand it. I don't expect it to happen. I would be pretty stunned if all of a sudden we got a news release today that Rich Bisaccia has stepped down or Rich Bisaccia has been fired or whatever that PR note would be.
Sure.
But I can certainly understand the calls for it. And it's a really frustrating situation to be at this point of the Rich Bisaccia era on special teams and showing any signs of progress at this point.
All right, Andy, let's talk about the offense and then the defense. So starting with the offense coming into this game, the offense was the one that had all the question marks, right? It was what's going on with the O-line? Can this offensive line with, Tom and Banks and these guys out, can they perform? Are they going to be able to figure something out? Obviously, offense puts up 40 points. Not that they were perfect. Offensive line still had some struggles. But the offense in general, I mean, you can't deny the fact that they put up 40 points. Your thoughts on the bounce back from the offense?
Yeah, offense deserves a lot of credit. I understand they're playing the worst defense in the NFL, at least very arguably the worst defense in the NFL. And, Russell Wilson put up a bazillion yards against it. I understand all of that. But at the same time, you can only play the opponent that's in front of you. We know Dallas was motivated for this game, and they still went out and basically moved the ball at will up until kind of Matt LaFleur took the air out of the balloon and, decided to kind of stop his offense in and of himself. But yeah, I thought up until that point, they kind of did what they want. I understand there's the big fumble that also to me is on Matt. There were 25 seconds left at whatever that point was. I think in 21 seconds left, and it was 1st and 15. You just had a false start penalty. 21 seconds left. The ball is on your own 26-yard line.
Where are you going?
Zero timeouts. And you're up by 4 at that point. So 21 seconds, no timeouts. You just had a false start. You went backwards. It's 1st and 15, and you're on your own 26-yard line. And even if you get the miracle play where you hit it to their 40-yard line, you get a 34-yard play, and you get up there, spike the ball. Are you even confident that the field goal team's not going to give up a block that's returned for a kick? It's just
exactly.
It's a really dumb decision in that, right now, Matt. And I think a lot of it's just unfortunate, dumb luck and happenstance. But there's this idea out there that Matt's not aggressive. Matt's aggressive. He's just now aggressive in all the wrong moments and conservative in all the wrong moments.
But that's part of it, Andy. That's part of being a head coach is you have to know when to be aggressive or not to be, or at the very have that be your identity, right? The Lions are aggressive all the time. But people know that the Lions are going to be aggressive. It just seems like before the drive, LaFleur is flipping a coin and going, all right, it's heads, so we're being aggressive.
But even more so, it's like he's deciding to go for it when the drive starts. And then no matter what happens in the drive, I mean, you could have a 9-yard sack. And he's like, nope, I'm still going to be aggressive because I made the decision at the beginning of the drive to be aggressive. And it's like he can't see the game and how or plays and how they develop once he makes his mind up for something.
Andy, I want to quickly, before we run out of time here with you, I want to talk about that final drive in OT because it kind of ties into this. And they were moving the ball so well, right? And they have an opportunity to go for the win, right? And that seems like the time when then he wasn't aggressive.
Right, with plenty of time.
The time management, the play calls on 1st and 2nd down, all of it seemed like don't do something that's going to end up with a turnover. Make sure that we, no matter what, can't lose the game, right? Play conservative enough to where we won't lose the game and maybe we'll win it. And then they ended up tying, right? So mission successful of not losing the game, but it did not appear or feel like LaFleur went into that drive, at least when they got down to the 20, and they had that 1st down of we're going to be aggressive. We're going to win this game.
Yeah. And the irony is that by trying not to lose, you have to almost give a hat tip to the Dallas clock operator, because usually in a road environment, that extra second is coming off the clock. Now, maybe the referees decide to put it back on, but I was stunned. And I mean, stunned that in a road game, that clock stopped as quickly as it did. Like that, if you're Jerry
Andy, if
Jones,
I'm Jerry Jones, that guy's
that
fired
guy's
last night.
Yeah, immediately.
Yeah, last
like
night. Yep.
that easy, no question about it. Like that, you do not get that in a road stadium ever. So like, and then you put in the hands of the refs if they put a second back. But in the point here is, in an effort to not lose the game, to make sure that you run enough time off the clock to not lose and give the ball back to Brandon Aubrey and his insane leg, you almost lost the game and kind of basically got lucky on that last play. That because on that tip play at the end, if the ball goes up instead of going immediately down to the ground, that the game is over. You lost the game. So it's poorly managed just in and of itself in that regard, that in a effort to not lose, you basically did almost that. And then the other frustrating thing is, you get the ball 1st and 10 on their 25-yard line with 1:53 left and a timeout. All right.
Yeah.
I understand the overall logic.
Andy, when you say that.
I understand the overall logic of like, hey, we cannot, give the ball back to them with time. Like, we either have to have it be that we tie this or we win, and that's the end of it, right?
Right.
If that's going to be your prerogative, you still have to manage that a whole hell of a lot better. But more importantly, that's the wrong logic in that situation. Your defense just went touchdown, 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 field goal in the last 4 drives. And the only reason that last one went for a field goal is because you ran out of time in regulation. You were probably scoring a touchdown on that one. You just completely carved through them again all the way down the field. The idea of like, we have to manage the time should no longer be in your mind. You're 1st and 10 from the 25. Call your best plays that are going to get you in the end zone to go win the game. Stop trying to not lose and go out and win. And that is the one where you just have to, if the all gas, no brake mentality even remotely exists anymore, stop worrying about the what ifs of what could happen on the other side. Trust your team that's decimating their defense over and over and over again, and go win the game right then and there. That was not the mentality. They almost lost because of that mentality with that extra tick. Probably should have gone off the clock and probably got very lucky to get away with a tie in that instance.
He is Andy Herman of Pack-A-Day Podcast. Of course, Pack-A-Day Podcast is great. This is a good time to go listen to Andy say wonderful things like you just did. I appreciate that, Andy. Thank you so much for joining us, pal, and we will talk to you on Friday.
Hey, can't wait, guys. Thanks so much. Appreciate you guys a ton, and enjoy the day. And you have plenty to talk about today for sure.
That's for sure.
Yes,
Thanks, Andy.
That was Andy joining us on the Fan Guest Hotline, powered by Gruber Law. One call, that's all. All right, coming up next, it's What's Up Wisconsin. We want to know, what do you got going on today? It's a Monday. The Packers tied. They didn't lose, but work is going to be tough today. It feels like a loss. Let us know what you got going on today, what you got going on tonight. We will do the same. Make sure to get those texts in at 414-677-1250. This is Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh, live from the 1250 AM and 105.7 FM, the Fan Studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook.
Hey, everybody. Football season's in full swing. Underdog's the best place to get in on all the action. I had a great day yesterday. I hit a bunch. I had DK Metcalf going in pretty much everything I did. And when he hit that 80-yarder with Aaron Rodgers, it was all gravy. Playing on Underdog is easy. Just pick whether your favorite players will go higher or lower on stats like rushing yards, receiving yards, receptions, touchdowns, sacks, and more. And of course, this week, the baseball playoffs start as well. So you can play those games too. Maybe a little Cubs, Padres, just to make sure you're paying a little extra attention to see who's going to be playing against the Milwaukee baseball team. Download the app today. Sign up with promo code Thunder MKE to score $100 in bonus funds when you play your first $5. That's promo code Thunder MKE. Underdog, make picks, win money. Must be 18 or over and present in Wisconsin. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/web/play and get terms _DFS_.html for details. Concerned with their play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org.
Welcome back to Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh. Live from the 1250 AM and 105.7 FM, the Fan Studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. My name is Josh Albrecht. Trevor Thomas is the other guy in the Trevor and Josh duo. He's still in Dallas on his way home. He'll be back tomorrow. Thank you to Mitch Thunder Nellis joining me today and on Friday. Thank you, buddy.
Hey, bud.
Appreciate you.
Yeah.
I also appreciate everyone who has been a part of the show today on the Nicolay Law Fan Talk and Text line, 414-677-1250, and who have been watching us all morning long on our YouTube channel at The Fan Milwaukee as well. Also, big thanks to our friend Andy Herman from Pack-A-Day Podcast, who just joined us on the Fan Guest Hotline, powered by Gruber Law. One call, that's all. Some good stuff from Andy Herman there as well. In this last segment, we call it the notes in church. It's the announcements before everyone goes home at church. This is our What's Up, Wisconsin? What's up? We want to know
Wisconsin?
What you got going on today. What is up with your day on this Monday after a tie? What do you have going on? Let's start with the sports you're going to watch today.
Okay.
All right. You're not going to be watching any baseball. There ain't no baseball today.
Baseball tomorrow. I have some baseball notes to share, but I'll do that after we.
But you're not watching it today.
No baseball to watch.
What you are watching is 2 NFL football games.
Yep.
Neither of them necessarily impacting the Green Bay Packers.
0%.
But you're going to have 2 games. First, the Jets at the Dolphins on ESPN. That starts at 6:15.
Yes.
And then an hour later, you're going to have the Bengals at the Broncos, and that starts at 7:15, but that is on ABC.
Ooh.
Yes,
Josh,
Mitch.
I hate 2 games on Monday night.
Okay.
I hate it. I like one game.
Yeah.
I like it on in the background. I don't like having to pay attention to 2 games. I don't like 4 teams playing for fantasy purposes. I don't like just put it on Sunday at noon so I can have more noon games on the Red Zone channel.
Listen,
like or even the 3:00 game.
Usually,
I do not like 2 games on Monday night at all.
Usually I'm agreeing with you.
Yeah.
Because there's something else for me to watch.
Because usually I'm right.
Okay. Well, that's what you're saying. Yep. But there's usually something else to watch if the football game's a snoozer.
Right.
There will be baseball on in some capacity. There ain't nothing.
No.
All you have tonight is football. So I don't mind there being 2 games in case the Jets and Dolphins is an absolute boring travesty of a game. Then, at least you have a second shot with the Bengals Broncos. Right. So you do have the opportunity there. But those are the things that you're watching. Yep. All right. Here's what else I got going on quickly here on my Monday. So over the weekend, my wife and I were at the Ronald McDonald House Charity Gala.
Dude, that purple dress was lit.
Thank you. Yes, I did not wear it. My wife did.
I was going to say,
I did have on. I did have on a purple suit though, which you should love.
Yes,
being the lover of the color
purple. I have
a
purple suit, so I like my purple suit. But you looked okay.
And let me tell you too, the theme was pure imagination. Willy Wonka. I had on a Roosevelt Wonka shirt.
You'll see.
Got tons of compliments. So one of the things, like we work with the Ronald McDonald House, we're very thankful to do so. And they had auction items.
Yeah.
Right? And before the event starts, my wife, Julie, starts putting bids up on
everything.
Like 25 items.
Love it.
And I'm like, what are you doing?
Yep.
And she's like, it's fine. The event hasn't even started yet. I'm just bidding them up, trying to make more money for them.
Yep.
I'm like, okay. She put money on this chair.
Oh,
there was like a chair, like a swivel.
Ain't nobody
chair.
need a chair.
Listen, I've always wanted like one of these big swivel chairs.
Well, there you go.
But we didn't need the swivel chair.
Well, clearly you did.
There was one bid on that swivel chair, and that was our bid on that swivel chair. And so we won that swivel chair.
Congratulations, you won the chair.
We Ubered to the event at the Pfister.
Well, nobody's taking the chair home. You can pick it up this week.
Well, let me tell you, that's exactly right. The Ronald McDonald House took that chair.
Yeah.
They took it back to the house. So what's up, Wisconsin, for me today?
Oh, you're going to pick up the chair.
I got to go with a buddy and pick up this chair.
I'm not that buddy.
And bring it home. Yeah.
Thanks for asking.
Buddies with a truck.
Yeah.
I got it taken care of. But it was a great night. They raised a crap ton of money for the Ronald McDonald House. Thank you to everyone that continues to support them. And we got a new chair.
Yeah, you got a new chair. Today is Bucks Media Day. The Bucks. I know it's all football, all basketball, all baseball all the time, but it is Bucks Media Day today. And so we are. From 11 to 2 today at Fiserv, I will be there interviewing and getting some good audio. Hopefully, we use our phones now for audio. So I'm excited to see Giannis and Thanasis and KPJ and Gary Trent Jr. and AJ Green and Kyle Kuzma and Miles Turner and the whole crew.
Can you do me a favor when you're there?
I can try.
Can you tell Giannis
Okay.
that there's a guy, his name's Josh Albrecht, and it is like a life goal of his to just be able to shake his hand, say thank you for being amazing, and get a photo with him. It's unprofessional for me to do it at a media day.
Right. You can do all the rest of that. You can't do the picture.
Correct. Yeah. But I have a legit fear that I am never going to get that photo with Giannis.
We'll figure that out.
Maybe if someone listening out there is like Giannis's neighbor or like cuts his hair, I don't know, does something and is listening right now. I need a photo with the man, just one. Just help me make that moment.
Yep. Couple
please.
Other quick things. Raw special start time 6:00 tonight, not 7 on Netflix.
It's on Netflix,
And I know there's no baseball today, and we'll talk about this during the week. Philadelphia and Seattle, who also have first round buys, are holding events this week where they are charging fans $10 a pop to come watch inter-squad games. I know Philly's donating all the money to charity. I'm not sure about Seattle. I don't know. I thought that's a cool thing to do. I don't know.
Brewers aren't doing it.
Right. The Brewers are not hosting, whether it's inter-squad or a practice or whatever. They're all trying to figure out ways to keep things fresh, keep the team going, because none of them play until Saturday. That's in them and the Blue Jays. So
yes,
I just thought that was interesting that 2 of the 4 teams have decided to open up the gates. 2 of the 4 haven't. We'll see how that works.
Yeah, I'm not
Nobody
sure.
knows.
Right. Nobody does know. What I do know is that 9 to noon with John Kuhn and Rami Makloff is coming up next. Cannot wait to see.
B Snizzles in the house?
Yes, that's right. Brandon, who I know was very stressed. He's stressed watching every Packer game. I can't even imagine where his blood pressure was yesterday.
Namely Rami.
Make sure to stay tuned for that. That's going to be great. Then you have the Mason Crosby Show with Mitch Thundernellis, presented by Verizon after that. And then Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's with Sparky, followed, of course, by the Fan Postgame Show with Tommy Wartz. This has been Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh. Thank you so much, Thunder, for filling in. Appreciate you. Make sure to tune in tomorrow. Trevor will be back. And we are live from the 1250 AM and 105.7 FM, the Fan Studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook.